welcome to the 7th episode. I'm Erica.
And I'm Joyce.
How are you, Joyce?
Wow, you're so awake.
I always sound disenergized.
I'm good. Today is a early roll up for me. So I'm getting used to the morning scene. But yeah, I'm good. This week has been quite eventful because 4-day weekend,
Easter weekend.
Yeah, so it's fun, very relaxing. Coachella weekend, which has nothing to do with our lives.
I mean, raving at home counts as well.
Sure. in my jammies, yeah, for sure. So yeah, with Coachella, with the weekend, I would rate a solid 8.
That's
almost
good.
8.5. How about you?
8.5 for me.
Okay.
Because I haven't had such a long rest.
Yeah, what did you do?
Not much. I mean, I just chilling with friends, family, eating out. But it's just in general, it's a good weekend.
Yeah, and the weather's not too bad, right?
Yeah.
We always talk about the weather. It's finally sunny, but not too hot, not too humid.
Yep. Oh, I did something. Sorry, it's about rewatching movies.
What did you watch?
I started watching The Office again.
Is this your 5th time?
No, it's only my 2nd.
Oh, okay.
But I really like it. You should start sometime.
How long is it?
Each episode is like 20 minutes ish. Yeah, it's just Pam and.
That's not too bad if it's 20 minutes.
I forgot his name in the movie. Anyway, John Krasinski, my number one man.
Oh
crush.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that why you're rewatching?
Part of the reason.
Got it.
So cute. Him and this other secretary in
their love life.
Yeah, in the TV show. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Well, so yeah, we have a nice week going on right now.
Yeah.
And yeah, so this week our podcast is also very, very special because our guest, Charity Cheung.
Yes, she's a friend of both of ours.
I would say in different periods of time.
Yeah, and she's here to talk about her life setting abroad in France, in Reims of France. Yeah.
So unique, such a unique experience that she's embarking and kind of experiencing right now. And I think having her to talk about her perspective, living in her 20s, somewhere abroad, somewhere that's I would say like Hong Kong people and like Americans not too familiar with like the life in like Europe as well.
Yeah.
So getting her perspective as an Asian, living there, working there, starting a business, would be just very unique and will give people insight on like that.
And I think it takes a lot of courage for someone to just move abroad. 9,000 miles abroad to somewhere completely, speaking a foreign language.
Yes.
So for her to take that bold step, I would say and opening up her own business right now is an inspiration.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and just a lot of confidence to actually do the thing, right? Do it. So I think
you can say it. You can say that all the time.
But actually making it happen is otherwise, right?
Yeah,
so yeah, I met her in high school in Hong Kong, and yeah, we've been like best friends ever since. And just I think growing up we've always been so different. So like having conversations with her like this is like just gaining a new perspective on life and on everything that we do, and we've been just so close and so understanding of each other. So yeah, I'm grateful to have her on here. And yeah, how did you meet her?
For me, well, I actually met her back in high school as well, because you have introduced me to her in like a few occasions.
Yeah. I wonder which one's the first time.
I forgot. Might be the school fair.
I think it's the school fair.
Yeah. But I mean, I only met her briefly.
Yes.
And I don't think she even remembered me. But anyways, we met again when we studied for the same undergraduate program in college.
Yeah.
And she has always been a very unique person, I would say. She has her own personality, and of course she did the thing out of ordinary. She just moved to France. So yeah, let's welcome our guest for this week.
Yay! Welcome, Charity.
Ooh la 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 la.
Hello.
Hi, Charity.
Hi,
Charity.
Hi.
So excited to have you here. Thank you for joining and taking the time to talk to the Hyper Peaches.
Yeah. What time is it in France right now?
It's 11 a.m. in the morning.
Okay.
How are you recently? Haven't seen you for so long in person.
I'm good. I've been super busy because I started my company not long ago. And so I've been running the shop and it's been busy.
And you have a new baby to care of, right?
Sake.
I do. I have Sake. I have a Visla who's 7 months old now. And he's a mess. He's everything in the house.
That's what most baby are.
He's a good kind of mess.
Yeah.
Do you wanna just introduce yourself a little bit and tell our audience who you are?
Sure. So I'm Charity. I grew up in Hong Kong and I went to school there and a bit in Singapore, and then I did my uni there as well. Did 2 exchange programs. The first was in France and the second was in Utrecht, the Netherlands. And so that's when I came to Europe for the first time and fell in love with the culture. And 3 years ago, I decided to move back here to France because this is where my boyfriend lives. And now I'm currently living in the Champagne region in France.
That's nice.
Yeah, and I started my company. I roast coffee, Moclair. And this I started a year and a half ago, and I just opened my shop a month ago.
Congratulations to that. So proud of you. Like, I know it's something that you've been wanting to do for so long, like starting your own thing, and the fact that you actually made it happen, it's impressive.
Yeah. So you mentioned that you moved to France because that's where your boyfriend is currently living at. Is that one of the reasons, or is that like the only reason why you moved over? You know, to
like
somewhere?
What prompted you to kind of make that decision? Like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm actually gonna move countries.
I think it was after my exchange here in Paris, I realized that I didn't feel like I belonged in Hong Kong, and I missed Europe a lot. Like, I loved my life here, and it was fine and it was chill. And back in Hong Kong, I just felt the stress and I didn't want to stay there in the future. And so I was always looking for opportunities to leave. So the first step was to do my master's in Europe, and then I was going to figure out what to do next. So I did my master's in public policy in the Netherlands, and I realized after that I had to make a choice again. Do I want to stay in Europe or do I want to go back to Hong Kong? And I was dating my boyfriend already for 4 years then, and I was tired of long distance relationship. So I decided to move to France to be with him. And yeah.
Such a bold move.
It is.
What was just like what were some like struggles or like fears that you had prior to like making the decision to move? Like, did you had something like what were you like, if you don't mind you sharing, like what were do you had any anxieties or like just some things that you were worried?
I was worried about moving to a small city because I'm such a city girl. I grew up in Hong Kong. And moving to a tiny French city was hard. I wasn't sure if I was ready to not have, I don't know, just 7-Eleven or going out anytime, having whatever I wanted. And
the convenience.
The life is completely, exactly. The life is completely different on Sundays. Everything is closed.
On Sundays?
So yeah. Like today is Sunday, and besides the Sunday market, nothing else is open. So it's a different way of living. And this was the thing that scared me the most. But there are its good sides, and the language is the second thing that really scared me because I didn't used to speak French.
Yeah.
And so I had to pick it up slowly.
But I mean, now you're completely fluent. So how long did it take you to feel like, okay, I can like confidently have a conversation full on French? Like, how long did that take you?
I think conversational level, 1 year. 2 years, I was able to understand 80%. And after 3 years, I feel like I'm almost at 100%. Like my comprehension is really good, but my speaking is still not perfect even today. Like I know I'm making mistakes as I speak, but it's just I'm trying to speak so fast that I'm not correcting myself.
I mean, it's only been 3 years.
Exactly.
It's taken 3 years and you reach like an expertise level of French. That's
because you're basically self-taught.
Yeah. Well, I spent 6 months in the university to learn French when I first got here. But besides that, yeah, self-taught.
Crazy.
That's nice.
Well, the thing is, when you're in a small French city and no one speaks in English to you,
Yeah.
you're forced to speak it.
But
If
that's
you
what
want to eat,
forces you to really learn the language, I guess.
In a faster pace, yeah.
Much faster pace. So, yeah, I mean, you talked about a little bit about your fears, like your expectations. Is there anything like specific, like the French like culture, like cultural values, whatever, that it's like, I wouldn't say exactly a cultural shock because you've already been here on exchange, but is there anything that is like very different from how you expected it to be?
I realized the French people, I was actually talking about this with an American girl that I met yesterday. The French people are really closed, as in, you rarely have, I don't know, heart-to-heart talks with anyone, even with your closest friends. The French people are really close about what they feel, and they don't like talking about feelings. On the surface, like, everyone is close, but I think this is one thing that I was really shocked about.
So even after like 10 glasses of wine, they would still only be talking about the, like this
fun stuff, service level thing.
Service level
Didn't go
thing.
deep. Wow. That's really different, to be honest. I think I would say Hong Kong is quite similar to that too. Whereas like when you're in like a big group setting, people are they're quite superficial. Everyone's kind of like
closed off
and just not really being themselves fully and trying to be someone else. But I mean, it happens to people.
Like city people things.
Yeah. How do you think like the life pattern is different from like when you were in Hong Kong to like now? Like what is your living style looks like? What's your day-to-day look like? I mean, I kind of know, but
wait, tell me like a normal. Okay, so I mean, I know you haven't worked in Hong Kong after you graduate, but imagine yourself like working as a regular 9 to 5 or 9 to 6. How's your life gonna be? Like, tell me about in Hong Kong first. How do you think it's gonna be?
Sorry, if I were to work in Hong Kong, how would my 9 to 5 be?
Yeah. Like, how about a full day? How would your full day be
in Hong Kong?
Just like
I'd probably still be living with my parents in Tai Po.
Yes.
And so I would have to wake up at like 6 a.m, prepare, and spend an hour and a half to get to wherever I had to work, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And
what would you imagine yourself to be working as though?
I probably work for, I don't know, a bank or like something like that.
Okay.
I think so. Yeah. I don't know, because my dad works for a bank in Hong Kong, and he really tried to guide me in that direction. And so I think I would have followed his footsteps.
Okay.
Do you think that would have been something that you would enjoy? Or would it just be like, oh, because it's a path that I've been kind of led to kind of thing?
I don't think I would complain a lot about it. If I didn't come to Europe, if I didn't have this comparison, I think I would still appreciate that life. It would just be different.
It would just
like ever since moving to France, the way I see things are so different. Like people here consume a lot less. Like we don't catch trends. It's about eating good food, drinking good champagne, and you don't spend a lot of time on commuting to work on public transport.
I mean, now your transportation is your bicycle.
Yeah. So my day-to-day basically from me, like where I live, my apartment, to go like downtown is maybe like 8 minutes by walk. And so I'm downtown, and for me to walk to work is 15 minutes. On bike, it's like 4 minutes. So where I go, it takes me maximum 15 minutes by bike. And this was something that changed a lot. This was something that changed a lot for me, because I'm so used to spending time on the metro in Hong Kong or spending time on the bus where I'd be doing other things. But here, I just have so much extra time, and that's
nice.
It's weird. Yeah.
What were some like, what do you like most now? Like, name like top 3 things that you love about France.
I love the people's appreciation for like champagne and food, like it's a different level ever since moving to Champagne. Okay, so before I moved to Champagne, the only thing I knew was maybe like Moët Chandon, Veuve Clicquot. And when I moved here, I learned so much more about smaller winemakers. I met winemakers. I have winemaker friends or champagne makers, and I learned how to train my palate. I learned how to appreciate like different things or higher quality champagne. And this is something that I love, like to be able to just
appreciate life.
Yeah. It's like, for instance, I remember when I first got here, I worked for a real estate agency in the beginning. And during lunchtime, we'd go out for lunch. And I remember my coworkers ordering a bottle of champagne. And I was like, guys, it's Tuesday lunchtime. And they're like, yeah, so what party? Like, we can drink champagne, right? And nothing to celebrate. But like, even among a group of friends, like if we go to each other's houses, we would always have apéro. So apéro is like when you have like drinks and snacks before you eat dinner. And we would always open like bottles of champagne. And for me, this was a complete culture shock. Like in Hong Kong, champagne is only for big occasions. But here, champagne is like so normal.
Like a casual brunch drink, you know?
Wait, so I gotta ask, how accurate is Emily in Paris? Because that reminds me of, have you seen that?
I have. How accurate?
Because I remember them opening champagnes at like not work lunches, but like lunches on a normal weekday as well.
I mean, every 5 minutes they'll be like drinking champagne or like drinking in general.
So on that sense, it's kind of accurate, right?
This is true. Like we drink a lot. Ever since I moved to France, even yesterday, like I went out with 2 other friends. We opened like just 2 bottles of white wine like that. Like this is normal. This is like a normal night.
Wow.
But they're nights where like people can bring a bottle each and we would all finish it.
Such a common thing then.
That's nice. I would appreciate these kind of friends.
Or during lunchtime, if we go to say Kevin's parents' house, like we would have wine with whatever we're eating. We would always drink champagne first. And it's just this whole like eating and drinking culture that is so different than in Hong Kong. Because I remember in Hong Kong, we would have like dinner maybe earlier and then drinks after with a bunch of friends, but it's never like having drinks before where we have like champagne and then we go eat something.
It's more of like a common, I guess, activity for them. Whereas like, is it, you have to like think of an occasion, like an important occasion in Hong Kong to open a bottle, right? Yeah. And I mean, it's so much more expensive too, so
That's true.
You have affordable wines.
I mean, affordable coffee as well, since you started your own business on coffee, right?
1 year, right?
Yes, it's been around a year and a half now.
Congrats.
So basically, after my political science degree, I realized that I didn't want to do anything related with public policy, politics. And so I think when I first got here to France, I was a little lost and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, which field. And I realized that I was always really passionate about drinking good things like coffee, especially coffee and wine. And when I first got here, my first reflex was to Kevin, I said, why isn't there one single good coffee shop? And he's like, yeah, maybe one day we'll do something, we'll create something. And so a year and a half after, we opened Moclair, but it was really just a side project. So we started roasting coffee and we shared like bags of roasted coffee to our friends and family. And it took off slowly. We had different coffee shops contacting us from all across the world, mainly in Europe. So Eastern Europe, Germany, Italy. And then it became my full-time job basically.
That's insane.
That's an inspiration, turning your side project into your full-time business. And it's like, your own project, your own baby, just watching it, witnessing its growth.
I think the inspiration of you like starting your own coffee business is just you found a need in France. And also it was something that you found important to yourself. Like you were genuinely passionate about it. That's why it felt like it was just so easy to come together and make it happen. It was just like a natural flow for you, right?
Yeah. But you mentioned working as at the real estate agency before starting coffee. So has like
like starting your own business in coffee always been the thing that you wanted to do, or is it like, you know, after some turns, a different path, that you finally came to this decision that you know, started your own coffee business?
So, well, I always knew I wanted to start my own business. I wanted to be my own boss, but I wasn't sure in what area. And so at first, you're right, like there's real estate. I got here and I saw the potential for foreign investment here, and I wanted to help foreign investors invest in real estate here. But I worked in an agency and I didn't love the atmosphere, and I couldn't really see myself doing that for the next few years either. And I fell into coffee kind of accidentally, I think. I've always been a specialty coffee drinker. But during the lockdown with Kevin, we started to really cook a lot more, and we tasted some really good coffees, really good wine. And that was when I realized that I was really passionate about training my palate and just drinking good things. And coffee is something that I need every single morning, that I love appreciating every morning. And so for me, it was just so natural, you know. I've always wanted to do something that I will love forever, not something I'll get sick of. And coffee is something that I need.
Sure. For like you as a foreigner, like starting this whole new thing in a foreign country, what were some like immediate, I guess, challenges that you were like, oh wow, like I guess you didn't foresee it coming? Like what were just some challenges that you experienced in the beginning?
So many.
I can imagine.
The very beginning was anything related to administration. All the paperwork, like it took forever, and French people take a lot of time for everything, and they would make stupid mistakes. Like my name would be spelled wrong like 3 times, and they have to resend me the contract. Or like I had trouble starting my company as well because I'm not a French citizen. And so I had to pax with Kevin, basically have a civil unionship. And so that I was able to stay here, I had to take that status to start my own company. But it wasn't easy. Like we were really lucky because we have a lot of friends and family who work in either in law or with the city hall. And so that really helped. But administrative wise was hard. And secondly, language. Because everything is in French, and it was hard. Like I really didn't know how to talk about law with these people, and that was hard. And
language anyways.
yeah. And banks, I remember like asking for different loans. So I had 3 different rendezvous avec 3 different banks, and I would have to pitch my project and get them to finance my company. And I remember going to the first bank, and she told me, like, we spent 3 hours, okay? And then towards the end, she's like, Charity, I love what you're doing. And to be honest, I would love to support and finance your project, but you're not French, so it won't be possible. And I'm like, so we just spent 3 hours for nothing.
The conclusion was like, you could have told me like the first second I walked in.
Yeah. Straight up just be like, oh, you're not us.
Yeah, just problems like this. And then like it was hard finding an accountant because they're not willing to support small businesses, especially foreigners who are starting businesses. So it was hard. Like every single step I was blocked somewhere, and then I'd have to change my direction, find someone else, or like
I think
I'm sorry. So because like even like if you're in Hong Kong, there's even some like, I don't know, venture capital companies, whatever, like that would be willing to fund a startup company. But I guess in France it's different, right? Like they don't, because it's kind of special. It's not every day that a foreigner would come over to like Reims to start their own company. So I assume they don't have this kind of support.
They don't know how to support too. Like
the problem about France is that we receive very little funding and support for startups. It's national. It's not just in Reims. Even in Paris, they have the same issue. And that's also why there aren't many companies smaller companies that are coming out right now. It's not like in Hong Kong. And the only aid that I got was from an association from this city. And this is funny because they accepted my portfolio and they're like, okay, we're gonna fund you set 7,000 euros, which is not a lot of money. It's like 65,000 Hong Kong approximately. And everything went well. We signed the papers, and then towards the end, they're like, oh, actually, we need an extra document from you, which is like your financial statement for your first year of activity. But we're like, but we just started the company, so we don't have that. And they're like, yeah, but we can't give you the money when you don't have that statement. I'm like, so you're gonna give me my money like next year when I have that statement, when you already accepted my portfolio? And they're like, yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm like, you're so sorry. There's just things like this, like zero help.
Wow.
Or they tell you they'll help you, but it ends up taking like 2 years more or longer.
Oh, damn. I think like starting your own business, to be honest, is already hard enough. Like I think for someone to be able to start something, it's hard in itself, but also to make it like to face all these challenges and know how to change course and know how to like think on your feet, find solutions.
Yeah.
That in itself is like a whole nother thing. And to also do it overseas, not in your hometown, that just doubles the I guess challenge.
Yeah.
Do you like how long have you been living in France now?
It's been 3 years.
Do you regret do you regret, I guess, fully living in France and moving away from home?
No.
Not at all.
Well, the only thing that I miss, to be honest, is you guys, like my friends and my family. But to be honest, I think seeing what Hong Kong has become today scares me a lot. And I have really good memories of Hong Kong, but politically speaking, I think it's not the place that I can see my future in. Of living there. Sorry, I've been speaking in French every day, and my English is honestly going down like a.
No, it's fine.
So it's totally fine. It's better.
So do you think in French now, like fully?
Kind of. Well, it's just I don't speak in English anymore, so I don't have the vocabulary.
That's true, because you either speak in French when you're at home, and you speak in Cantonese when you're on the phone with your family, right? Yeah. So English is like not used much.
It's like a third language now.
Yeah, but your first language was English, right?
Yes. But you can trust me, you can lose it. Like I've been meeting Americans here and they can't speak English properly anymore.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. What are the Americans doing there? Like you said you have a few friends that are.
There are a few that married French people.
Okay.
Some that just came to become French teachers. I know someone who's here doing translation.
Oh, dang. Wait, they came to France to become French teacher, teaching
English teachers.
English.
Oh, okay, right. Oh, that's nice.
Do you have some I don't know, like I want to know like what are some tips or like advice for people who are
considering to move abroad /
starting their own thing? Like it goes both ways, I think. Like what were some tips and things that you've learned throughout this journey that you want to like share to other people and like give insight on?
I think that you need to be aware that Europe is different in a sense that you won't be able to have everything at any moment. You won't have the conveniences in Hong Kong. It's not a big city, so you can't, I don't know, simple things, get your nails done like anywhere or be beautiful and be all glammed up. And Europe is just not like that. Like the culture is so based on being natural, just enjoying life, going out for coffee or drink instead of.
So completely ditch the city life.
Yeah. And salary wise, it's a different thing as well. Like if you're looking to develop yourself, let's say financially, I'd say coming to Europe is not a good choice. Like I decided the hardest choice for me to make was, okay, the European way of life is good, but you'll never have the salaries that you have in Hong Kong. Does that make any sense?
I do have a question though, like is living in France or Reims per se, like the standard of living, is it a lot higher than other European countries, or is it, the median figure? Like how much do you need basically to support your own living in here?
Definitely not as much.
I think that it's a lot. I think it's more affordable to live in Europe or in France compared to many other countries. Like housing is not expensive here.
The cost of living is not that high. You could just bike around.
The only thing that's expensive is going out to eat. Like one thing that I learned is that in France, going out to a restaurant is kind of a big deal, like if you want to go out to eat with a few friends, you might plan that like 1 week in advance, and it's an event in itself. Whereas in Hong Kong, we eat out so often that we don't realize that going to a restaurant is like a big thing. So here, when people go to a restaurant, they'll literally have like a drink. They'll order a drink first, they'll have their food, they'll order a bottle of wine, and then they'll have their dessert. Because they'll go to a restaurant maybe once a week or less, like twice a month.
How much is it per person, like approximately? Like, because I would say Hong Kong's dinners are getting more and more, like depending on where you go. If you're not trying to have like a fast food restaurant like dine in, it's quite expensive too now.
A regular night out with your friends, I think in Hong Kong, like I would say, because normally people go to like restaurants and drinks probably in two different like separate restaurants or bar, whatever. So I would say you need to spend at least like $400 or $500 per person,
Hong Kong dollars,
yeah, for that one night out.
Yeah.
How about in France?
I think it depends, because the thing is, ever since I got into wine, I spend a lot more, I think.
Okay,
that makes sense. Yeah.
But in general, I think if you were to eat out, you would spend between 25 to 60 euros. So it'd be around the same. It'd be like 200 something Hong Kong up till 600 euros, 680 approximately.
But what is like the average like monthly salary of people? I just let me get into all the figures.
Are you trying to move?
I'm sorry. That's interesting. I think the average is less than 20K Hong Kong, so around 1,800.
Wow.
That's pretty low for like a normal like white collar or just.
The thing is, in France, let's say you start with a minimum salary of 1,500 euros, which is around 13K Hong Kong. You start entry level, and maybe in 20 years you would make maximum 3,000 euros.
So it's hard to move up the ladder.
It's not that it's hard, but even when you're at the top, the salary is not crazy.
Okay.
So say if the richest people living in France are the people who are making like between 6,000 and 6,000 plus euros a month. So around 56K Hong Kong a month.
Even for like the senior, like,
even with the high ranks people. Damn.
But I mean, the perks are like, I mean, what do you want as a normal, working class? Or you want is like some money for food and drinks, and maybe travel around, and you can do that.
Yeah, you can do that. And I think people in France and Europe, they don't really they don't see money as like
the most crucial
factor. As long as they can live by and they can afford like wine and have like wine, like as simple as that, right? Like it's just like able to enjoy company, able to like enjoy nature and like culture and music, as simple as that. And I think that's their way of living, and I think that's amazing. Like there's nothing wrong with that,
unless you have specific goals.
So
I mean, the thing is, they have a really good pension system. So once you're retired, the retirement system is amazing. Like you'll touch maybe 70% of your salary when you retire. So you don't have to worry about saving up.
That's nice. Maybe we should move there.
Yeah,
when we're like 50.
Do you need like barista? Zero experience though. I can come and learn. I can learn French. Give me 3, maybe 6 years.
succeed.
I think it really depends on what you're looking for. If you don't mind like suffering a little, not making a lot of money, and just living your life, Europe is a great choice. But if you want to really develop your career and move up the career ladder and have different opportunities, Asia or bigger cities.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you see yourself, I guess this is very like too soon to say, but like, do you see yourself at this moment like living in France forever? Or are you down to like
move to a different country?
Yeah.
Or you mean move back to Hong Kong? Move back to Hong Kong, I don't think so, right?
No, not even, yeah, just like in general, like, would you like, are you open to the opportunity to live elsewhere with Kevin, like, you know, in the future?
I would. Hong Kong is a no for sure. Like, it's funny, if you asked me 2 years ago, I would have said, yes. Yeah, I'd love to go back to Hong Kong, but now it's like, I'd like to go back once a year just to visit. Yeah, more often.
Understandable.
Spending my whole life in France, no, I don't think so. I think Kevin and I, we both love traveling so much that we would always consider moving somewhere else. But because of his job, like, he's quite tied to the country and he won't be able to move that easily.
So it really depends on if, you know, the opportunity comes by. I mean, if you grow your coffee business and you have to expand it somewhere else, to a different country, then you guys can, you know, have the perfect reason to move somewhere else.
Or even if I just get to travel between different countries or 2 countries back and forth, I would love that. But I really like France in a sense that you can have a good life here and you can have space.
Space and the freedom that you need.
That's so important.
Like, you can have a house in Hong Kong. As a young couple, to buy a house is like, I'm not talking about an apartment. Like, if you want a garden, that is
no way.
Yeah. That's true.
A garden. I wish I have a garden too.
Garden. you can, you know, build it in the metaverse or whatever. That's probably easier.
But yeah, is there anything else you wanna
share with our listeners? Yeah. Any more tips or advice, you know? If you
find a foreign boyfriend or girlfriend that will really help you learn the language, that will help you integrate or assimilate into the culture.
Great tip.
Yeah. And then you have the reason to move to somewhere
for sure. A greater motivation for you to like want to move in.
That, Robin.
If you're watching this or listening to this,
why are you not European?
But yeah, I think pretty much we talked about everything we wanted to say.
Yeah, and so happy for you, honestly.
Yeah, you know, thank you so much for taking time, because I know your schedule has been so busy with opening McClare store, with all your clients, and you have a new dog. Just it's amazing how you like can jam pack so much stuff and you still, how do I say it, you still make it work like so like effortlessly. I think that's the hardest thing. Thank you for listening, and we hope your day is as peachy as this episode. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook, like this podcast on Spotify and iTunes.
And comment or DM us on any of our social media platforms as well. Talk to you in the next one.
Bye.